Well, I would take a whole day to describe my mother. She was a very strong woman, beautiful, very tall. I think some of you that have seen my boys were, same height as my mom, or a little bit maybe shorter, but she was very tall woman but very loving in the community where we were. We lived in Nyanza, and that's where, but I think half of the community where we were living or where I was raised, all the girls that got married, my mom got to be the matron of honor. Now, in the culture, as you all know, I don't know if it's still the same, but we used to pick the matron of honor because you know that person is going to be there for you. Not just financially, but also going to be there for you as a support for when you have babies, it's really like a second mom. Yeah. My mom was that kind of woman, second mom to a lot of girls in the community. But not only that, she was also a friend to many. Today, some of her friends that survived, when you hear them describe her, I've not had anybody describe my mom as someone who's had an issue with my mom. I'm not saying that they are not people that had an issue with my mom, but that's the kind of woman that she's very loving, very giving, yet very tough, and mostly tough on me. So I think in a way that I can describe her, she was my trainer and a military trainer, sort of, in a way. So she trained me at a very, very early age of life to become the woman that I am today. So I think sometimes even when I'm, it's not a good, so much of a good thing sometimes when you say, well, I can hear my mom through me when I'm speaking to my kids. But I take the good sides of a lot of things that she trained me to do as a little girl that I see that I have been able to do, even as an orphan, as a young woman, as a grown woman, now as a mother of grown kids as well. So I think the early training that I had from my mother, in a Christian way, in a way that I live with others, that's all her. That's all her. So God really used that woman to make me the person that I am.
Yeah. So speaking of her toughness, I underlined some statements here that I would like to read aloud and then let you tell us about this story.
Yeah.
You said on page 7 that it's not fair. I would complain to my mother. Why can't I go and play like Kiki and Aristide? You're the only girl here, she would say. I want to be certain that if anything happened to me, you would be able to take care of your brothers. And certainly don't want you to grow up to be one of those silly girls who are good for nothing. So I'm sure that she's right now very, very happy that you came out great and you didn't become the girl that she hoped that you wouldn't become.
Yeah. If you hear those words today, you may think, well, that's, I think every child will say that. That's unfair, that I get to clean, I get to cook, I get to wash the clothes of the boys that have gone and played soccer outside, and I'm the one. Why am I the one to, even if you don't say, we all say in Kinyarwanda, you get beaten for what you thought, not what you said.
That's true.
if you cry, your mother is going to give you a reason to cry, something to cry about. But in those days, and I'm sure it is the same today, that you teach your children to do chores at home, and science actually does show that children do chores at home do better in the society than the ones that don't. But in my case, my mom made me do more, I think. More in a way that I also had to do to clean for the boys, take care of the animals, and do all that stuff. And then she will add, if I complain, she will add those words that you just read. I want to make sure that if I ever die and your father remarries, I want to make sure that you're able to take care of your brothers. Now, I don't know why she always, and those words actually gave me fear of her always saying, if I die. And I always, before I go to bed, I really prayed that my mother never dies before I'm old enough, like I'm grown and very old. And I also used to pray, I don't want to be the one I actually want to be the one to die before everybody in the family, because I didn't want to experience that pain. But that was from those words of my mom. If I ever die, I want to make sure that nothing happens to you, that you become that good for nothing girl. So I think it was the fear in her that if I don't train her to do this and that, then she may end up to just be a lazy girl that won't. So she made me do all those chores. But today, I'm actually really, really thankful. There's no chores that I can't do. Like, there's nothing I cannot pick. If it's poop, I'll pick it up. With my own hands, I mean. There's nothing that I cannot do. What boys can do or what men can do, I can fix, I can do all these things. And I'm not saying that, that have the strength to do everything, but I think there's not anything in the household that I can shy away to try or to do. And that's from her training.